Welcome to Know Your Money, where we will explore our relationship with money and how the psychology of it impacts our financial decisions, as everyone thinks about money differently. In our podcast, we'll be presenting a variety of financial topics in an easy-to-understand way, which we hope will assist you with managing your money. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Know Your Money. Warren, Craig, how are you today?
Very well, Bronwyn. Craig, how are you?
Very well today, thanks, Warren. Never a chore.
Yeah, always a pleasure, Craig.
Always a pleasure.
Never a chore.
We have Rob back today.
Hi guys, yeah, great to be back.
Sure, Rob, these
Thank you
Mondays
very
are
much.
coming quick and fast.
Yeah, no, wonderful.
This
It's
is
a good way
becoming
to
a-
start the week.
Up and down on that aeroplane.
Yeah,
This is becoming a habit, yeah.
yeah, but no, it's great. Really is good to be back. Thank you.
We're still unpacking your book. Where are we up to now?
Yeah, we are well. We've got to curiosity. Oh,
Curiosity.
So, yeah.
I'm curious. Tell us more.
And no cats were harmed in this episode.
Yeah, absolutely not. Yeah. No, I mean, I think curiosity is, again, one that, one might think, what has that got to do with money?
Yeah.
And that's a good question to ask because that's a curious question.
Yeah.
But I think in some ways it's obvious that curiosity from a financial planner's perspective is very important because the more curious a financial planner is about their client, the more they're going to get to know their client, and the more they get to know their client, probably the better advice they're going to give. But I think where I'm really going with this idea of curiosity is that I think a key role of a financial planner is to help clients be curious about their own lives and to actually reflect. And so in a sense, the financial planner holds up the mirror for the client to look in and actually see that that's really what's going on here, not necessarily what I thought was going on. And so I think the more that financial planners can help clients be curious about themselves and their lives, the better life a person will live and the better advice they'll get from the financial planner.
Agreed.
Yeah.
And I think, when we talk about your situation and your wife buying, maybe finding that curiosity around that, is that truly something that is important, or would not buying something
Yeah.
that make sense?
Yeah. I think just in life, the more curious you are, the more you inevitably ask questions, the more you will learn and the more you will grow. So if you're talking about financial advice or what you guys do, the more curious I am about what my options are with my future, how I can grow financially, it's only going to better the decisions I'll be able to make, surely.
But maybe you can think out the box as well. We were discussing this a while back because you don't have to say live in a house that's bonded, drive a car that you owe lots of money on, and be sort of forced to do what everybody else does. I think what COVID's taught us that you can work anywhere. You can make choices about where you work. And you may not want to be on the Highveld or down on the coast. You might want to be in the Karoo. And you might work online for some international company even. So you don't have to have the
that
tradition.
debate where you can have it all.
Yeah.
Sorry to interrupt. So I've got a good example, a story almost, of a friend of mine who went and did that. He was working for a capital company, Anchor Capital here, and he didn't really enjoy what he was doing. He was in investment, something or other, I don't know, but he worked in investment. And he decided one day that it wasn't his passion and that he'd followed the cookie cutter path and gone to university, got a BCom, gone and got a job. And it wasn't for him. And he made drastic changes in his life. He learned off YouTube how to code, do computer coding, moved to South Asia. And he is happier than he's back in South Africa now, but he went there to lower his expenses so that he could continue to learn while not having to worry about money. And he's back here now. He works for an international company in the UK, works from home, and his life is completely different. And it was only his willingness to question what he was doing that changed all of that.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think the challenge we face is that many of us don't, of our own accord, question what we're doing. We just keep going. We get stuck in the pattern and the habit.
Yeah.
And I think that that's one of the huge powers of financial planning and working with a financial planner is that they can actually help us interrogate our own lives. And they do that by making us become curious about ourselves, So if we go back to that example of having a nice house, I know for myself, I continually have to interrogate myself because, we live in a good house and I'm not a great gardener. I'm not a great maintenance guy. And I've got to continually sort of question, why do I live in this house when maybe I could live in a smaller, more compact home that would free me up to do other stuff, and that I might enjoy more. And I think that's your point, Bronwyn. What do you really enjoy? And some people haven't even thought about that because they just got caught up in life.
In the rat race and the having the house and the having the car and putting, like you were saying, putting yourself in debt. Do you really want that, or is it society that's making you have that? And I think as a role for us to help those clients ask those questions, to truly figure out what is important to you. And like we've said before, by getting your hair done every week might be important to one person and not to another. But is that important yours, or is it just a pattern or a habit that you're in from something else? And just getting to the root of the emotion behind it, I think, is also important. Like, are you doing that truly for yourself because it makes you happy? Are you doing it for something else? And getting curious about that.
Hi, everyone. If you would like to get a copy of Rob's book, The 7 Pillars of Financial Health, we have shared a link in the bio with the web address as well as a discount code you can use. The book retails for 375 Rand excluding delivery, and with this promo code, you will pay 370, which includes delivery. Alternatively, you can find the book at exclusive books or other bookstores. We would like to thank you for listening, and please remember to like, subscribe, and share the podcast so that we can bring on more exciting guests like Rob to help you with knowing yourself and knowing your money.
Yeah, I worked with a lady that was passionate about sailing, her and her husband, and they had kids, and they thought, well, they can't sail anymore because they've got children, they have to take them to school, and now that's the end of their sailing career. Anyway, they sat down, re-looked at everything, and found out that they could homeschool these children on this boat, and they bought this massive yacht, and they sailed it, not around the whole world, but they sailed it certainly in the Caribbean and up in Europe and that, and they spent 4 years on this yacht.
Sure.
And they used to go to places as well, France and that kind of stuff, and they used to work a bit there, but they schooled the children. So what was holding them back, and I think all of us back, is that you need your child to go to school and get an education, etc. But they did it on the homeschooling way, and while they were still young enough to sail, they sailed and enjoyed their passion. So it's a huge thing.
And that's someone truly living what they want.
Yeah.
Having it
thought
all.
Thought about how they could do it and how it could work for everybody.
There's a sitting US congressman, I can't remember his name, but he started a tech company, did very well, and sold it, and then decided he didn't really know what he was going to do with his life, and he always wanted to build his own home. So he convinced his wife, even though he wasn't a builder, had no experience, that he was going to build the house. And he did. And then he did courses on plumbing, and he plumbed the house, and electrics, and he did the electricity for the house. And then became a congressman and continues to work on his own home.
Yeah.
So you can do anything you want as long as you question it. I do agree with that.
And I think the financial advisor helping you be curious about what truly actually matters to you and where things stem from as to why you're potentially doing certain things. Yeah.
And it's not easy. I mean, there's a guy named Kay Hay who was a hedge fund manager in the US. And by the age of 35, he had made it, so he had more than enough money and he'd been successful. And he sort of got to this point in something that he had dreamed about doing, got to this point and then actually didn't feel so satisfied and didn't feel so good and started to reflect. And his reflection on it was that we all want financial security in some form, whatever that looks like. And you look at the surveys of clients around the world, basically financial security is sort of almost the number one thing that people want. And we all have different definitions of that. But what KA says is financial security is, we all seem to want that, but we all also want to have a good life. And he talks about the fact that sitting between financial security and a good life is what he calls the messy middle. And the messy middle is the part where I think you guys play such a key role for clients, is helping us unpack that messy middle. And it's not easy, because not everybody is as clear thinking as your friend Warren, who was able to say, I'm not enjoying investing. Because some people have the curse of competence. They're good at stuff, but they haven't really thought about what I really want to be doing.
I like that, the curse of competence.
Yeah. I'll trademark that.
Oh, you've come up with some great ones. That's a good one.
Yeah, but that it is a problem. You do have people who have this, what I call the curse of competence, where they are good at a whole lot of stuff, and because they haven't really had the need to think about what I really want, which sounds like your friend did do that.
He did, and he is so happy.
Yeah. And so that's why I think curiosity is so important in the financial planning process and in the relationship with the financial planner, because it's so easy for clients to come in and you just take them at face value and say, okay, you've got X number of assets and this is your income. Okay, brilliant. We can save that amount and off we go. And we think that we've on track. I remember hearing a story that a financial planner told me about one of their clients. It was the person was a retired client, and he had more than enough money, for his retirement and for passing on to his children. And when the financial planner met with him, they said, so how's retirement going? You must really be happy. And he said, no, my life's miserable. Why? And he said, well, I'm a glorified Uber driver, because my daughter works, her husband works, and I'm picking up the kids at school, taking them here, and all I want to be doing is I want to be playing golf, And to cut a long story short, they then sort of worked out, well, actually, what you could be doing is, she said, and how's your daughter? She obviously loves her job because she's wanting to work. No, she hates her job. And so after a process, they realized that actually what they could do is he could pay his daughter not to work. So get an early inheritance, pay the daughter not to work so she can do the school pickup and she wants to do, and he can go and play golf. But what could have happened in that scenario was, he had many millions of rands that he wanted advice on how to invest. That's why he came to the meeting, and they could have just spoken about the money. But they didn't. She explored. She was curious about how's retirement. You must be, enjoying it, and he was hating it. And it wasn't because he didn't have enough money. He was hating it because of the choices he had made. So there's an example of being curious rather than saying, okay, well, let's put your millions into this portfolio and we'll get 7% per year and all's good. So I think curiosity is key.
True.
And not just waiting for retirement to live your life. How can you live it before that too?
Yeah, absolutely. You can have it all, Bronwyn?
Absolutely. I think I've won you over a little bit.
You have won me over. Yeah. Because I think one of the things that I always say is important in a conversation that you guys have with a client is what I call a conversation for perception, or a conversation about perception, because perception is reality.
Yeah.
And so when we first had this conversation, Bronwyn, my perception was you can't have it all. And if we are curious about what do you actually mean by that, and can we unpack it more, that can shift my perspective, if that makes sense.
Has it?
Yes, it has. To a certain extent.
Awesome stuff.
Yeah, I love it.
Thanks, everybody.
Rob, thank you.
Great fun.
Thank you.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you, guys.
Take
Bye.
care. Cheers. Bye.
Thank you for listening. If you have enjoyed this podcast, would like to subscribe, please visit our website, www.growthfp.co.za. The information we have provided in this podcast is our personal opinion. For more detailed information, please discuss your financial situation with a financial planner.